Why do they use so much odd time signatures? Dream Theater was my first progressive band I got to know, with the first album I've heard being Train of Thought, though I was not yet completely fan of them back in those days. I remember I needed some time getting used to James LeBrie's vocals. The moment I started to adore these guys was when I learned about their album Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory. I think it was also my first experience with a concept album, where there is a story throughout the whole album instead of just one song after another. It felt like a cinematic experience without the visuals, and I loved it. I mean, the amount of effort that all of the band members must have put in this album is incredible. After getting really into their music, I started to buy all of their CDs one by one, fully experiencing the growth they all went through, like small style changes, etc. Dance of Eternity was also a whole new experience to me, being the first instrumental song this complex. But even though the extreme technical level, it still carries an amazing sense of emotion that fits perfectly in the album. So, combining all the new experiences I had with this album, I choose to cover this song for my Eye Opener series here on YouTube, simply because I believe it had the most impact on me personally. Dream Theater has a long history, so I'm not going to go through all of it because it would take way too much time. I'm going to focus on the main parts here. Dream Theater started back in the year 1985 under the name Majesty. The founding fathers of this band were Mike Portnoy on drums, John Petrucci on guitar, and John Young on bass, who were all studying in the famously known Berklee College in Boston. Once they officially formed the band and got Charlie Dominici for the vocals and Kevin Moore for the keys, they had to change their name due to the fact that there already was a band called Majesty in Las Vegas. It was Mike Portnoy's father who came with the idea of the name Dream Theater. Dream Theater had some lineup changes, but from the album Scenes of a Memory released in 1999, all the way to Black Clouds and Silver Linings from 2010, the band members were the original trio Portnoy, Petrucci and Young, James LeBrie on vocals, and Jeroen Rudess on keys, creating 6 albums together during these 11 years. Sadly, on 8 September 2010, Mike Portnoy announced to leave Dream Theater. When I first heard this news, I was completely filled with disbelief. My progressive music-loving friends and I just could not believe what was happening. Mike Portnoy didn't originally want to split with the band. At first he asked for a 5-year break so he could spend more time with his family and his other music projects. Eventually Mike Portnoy dropped a 5-year idea to a 1-year idea, but when the other band members rejected this proposal as well, Mike Portnoy left the band. After all this, the relationships with his previous band members got strained, and apparently a lot of comments were thrown back and forth, leaving an absolute split in its wake. After a little more than a month later, Dream Theater decided to do auditions for a new drummer. This whole process can be found here on YouTube in a mini-series called The Spirit Carries On. The title of this mini-series is obviously a reference to the album Metropolis Part 2. They had an amazing lineup of people who came to audition. Mike Mangini, Derek Rody, Thomas Lang, Virgil Donati, Marco Miniman, Achilles Priester and Peter Wildoer. I think that's all of them. All amazing drummers, but eventually they chose Mike Mangini to replace Mike Portnoy. By the way, Mike Mangini had already worked with James LeBrie on James LeBrie's solo projects. Mike Mangini is still with Dream Theater today and has recorded 3 albums with them. So now let's talk about Metropolis Part 2. The idea for this album came from the track Metropolis Part from the album Images and Words. They did start writing a Metropolis Part 2 song for the album Falling into Infinity, but eventually didn't make it on the record. However, a lot of ideas from this demo were used in the album version later. It became a concept album telling the story of a young man named Nicholas who is discovering through therapy and hypnosis his past life as Victoria Page. He learns that her life is a story about love, murder and infidelity. After the opening scene, the album features 11 more tracks, all telling a part of Nicholas's discovery of what happened to Victoria Page. Metropolis Part 2 Scenes from a Memory got an overall positive critical acclaim. In 2012, the album got voted by the readers of the Rolling Stone into first position for the Your Favorite Prog Rock Albums of All Time poll. In 2015, Prog Report ranked this album at the 3rd place in their top 50 modern prog albums. Fun fact is that Dream Theater's album Images and Words got placed at the 1st position in the same ranking. Mike Portnoy is a guy who has done so freaking much. Mainly known for his work with Dream Theater, he has done so many other projects. It's just amazing. If you count his discography including all CDs, all EPs, all his tribute albums, there are 76 records you can find him performing on, including bands such as Dream Theater, obviously, Liquid Tension Experiment, Avenged Sevenfold, Neil Moore's band, Transatlantic, Flying Colours, Winery Dogs, Adrenaline Mob, Office of Strategic Influence. Furthermore, he got awarded 30 awards by the Modern Drummers magazine and got inducted in the Modern Drummers Hall of Fame at the age of 37. He has been awarded as Best Drummer in specific categories by Metal Hammer, the Drummies Award, Golden Revolver, Golden God, and Drum Magazine. For me, Mike Portnoy has been my biggest influence during my studies in the music schools. Every time I hear he's recording a new album or is starting a new project, I get a little bit hyped. Back in the days, I played CDs back and forth, trying to match his drum parts again and again and again. I even wrote my first drum transcription of Dance of Eternity at the age of 17. It was this version that I revisited and rewrote for the recordings now. At a certain point, I also covered Dream Theater's Stream of Consciousness from the album Train of Thought for the guitar exam of a friend of mine. As you can see, Dream Theater and Mike Portnoy are strongly integrated in my musical growth. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more, be sure to check my channel. Hit the like and subscribe button and the bell icon for future notifications of videos being posted online. You can find me and my team on social media. I'll provide all links in the information box. If you have comments or want to say something, do not hesitate to write it down here or even send me an email. Also, if you're new to this channel and you want to know more about my YouTube project, be sure to check my introduction video. Next video will be Brick by Boring Brick by Paramore. I hope to see you there. Cheers.